sometimes you just have to play the head games with yourself and make it feel like you're getting something fancy that you're not. So use your fancy reusable Starbucks cup that you bought a million years ago and the fancy ice cubes that you haven't used in forever, and make it feel like you're getting something fancy on your fasting days when this is all that's on the menu.
He's so cute.
Frank is just looking super cute and sleepy. It's a few minutes until 10 and my phone is about to go into nighttime mode, so I think I got everything done today. But I'm not gonna have time to edit and get this video out before nighttime mode kicks in. So I do want to keep to my rules that I set for myself. So I think I will bang this video out in the morning and put it up first thing. So, not perfect time management, but I did work really hard on stuff today. So, there's that. Okay, so today is the morning of day 7, but we are going to go back and talk about day 6 because I ran out of time yesterday and my phone went into night mode and I went in black and white, and it's just really hard to do any editing or anything when your phone is in black and white mode. So I made the executive decision to stick with my rules, not break my rules, and keep my night mode on and just get the video out this morning, and then I'll get another video out tonight for day 7. Yesterday I was really thinking about what the number one skill is in all of this. Like, I think the greatest skill you can probably ever learn in life, in my 44 years on this planet, I truly believe that the greatest skill we can ever learn is to master failure. And I say this as somebody who is very easily triggered by failure, and failure has stopped me so many times. Like, it will literally freeze me in my tracks. And I never understood it to this extent until I met my husband, and we've had many, many conversations about it over the last 15 years. Because when I was young and I was going to school, I did very good in school, and I was always on the lists of like the best students and the high GPAs and all of that. And that was because my parents set a very high standard for me. Like, I can remember getting a B+ once on a semester grade, like the grade for the course. I got a B+, and you could just feel the disappointment just oozing out of my parents. And it took me very many years to learn exactly why they were feeling like that. And I could go on an absolute tangent about that. But it took me a lot of years to understand why they did it and to accept it and forgive them. But my husband had a very opposite experience. He did not do well in school. He did terrible in school. And he ended up working his way up through the restaurant business. And now he is a pretty successful IT manager for a major corporation. And he makes good enough money that I don't have to work anymore. And he tries and fails at things all of the time because he had to, because he didn't do well. Like, colleges were not clamoring to have him go there. He was not getting scholarships to go anywhere, and I was. And And even when I was a little kid, I was in the talented and gifted program in elementary school. So it was like I had this expectation that I always had to do things perfectly. And if I could not do it perfectly, then I was not even going to attempt it. So the fact that I'm even sitting here today and making these videos and showing up in my cringy little poorly edited, slapped together stuff is like, it's triggering, but I'm showing up. And my husband is sitting back going like, this is nothing. This is how you learn. This is how you learn to do stuff. You just suck really bad at it and you just keep showing up and you keep figuring it out, and that's how you get better. Even when I was in corporate America, because that's like the pinnacle of what you could do in the early 2000s, it really didn't matter what your degree was in. You wanted to get in just at a good office with good pay. And I did that. And then after a few years, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, and it came with a lot of surgeries and a lot of steroids and a lot of weight gain and a lot of misery. And I got out, and then I kind of bounced around at other jobs. And then I ended up in another corporate work from home. It seemed pretty cozy, but I realized after like a year that I was not going to get hired on. And so I started bugging them, like, what do I need to do to get hired on full time? And they're like, oh, well, you have to cross train on the phones. You have to be like a full-time phone person to get hired on full time. And I was like, that is not happening. That is my hard line. I will not be on a phone team for anything. So I talked to my husband and I'm like, after your last promotion, you're doing pretty well. Can I quit and like maybe learn data analytics through Coursera or something? And he's like, okay, all right, you can do it. I do make enough. It's all right. We can manage this. And so I did, and it was very hard and it was very stressful, and I cried a lot. I cried everything. Anything that is new and anything that is remotely hard, I cry my way through it all, and it's very messy. And then the holidays came and I kind of took a little break from it. And then my dad died and I took a longer break from it. And then I've just kind of been sitting this year going, what am I even doing with myself? Like, I don't know what to do now. Like, I can try to go back to the analytics and cry my way through it until I understand it. And maybe I still will. Because if nothing else, that's going to be useful for any kind of YouTube or marketing job, or I don't know. There's a million ways that it can be useful. It's scary, but my Coursera subscription renewed, so that was like another $400 out. So I should at least be doing something on it. I think there's Canva classes on there too. I could get better at Canva. I have a Canva subscription too. I've tried so many things. Bevan and I, we have tried so many little businesses and things, and it gets hard and we give up. And we learned a long time ago that is just our personalities. When it gets hard, we tend to shy away from it. So if we do make anything, it should be something that can just be evergreen, something that is we put out in the world and it stays out in the world, and hopefully we've set it up in a way that can make money. And we tried making books on KDP, and that does bring us in just a little bit of money every month, like more at Christmas time. So we make anything between $15 and $200 a month. And I'm so grateful that we figured out that was kind of our personalities. And we've just kept building. We also started a Halloween YouTube in like 2019, I think. And we put up 4 videos in 2019, and then we didn't touch it. And then in 2020, we put up 2 videos, and then we didn't touch it for like 3 years. And we probably never would have gone back to it, except for Bevan happened to log in for some reason and saw that one of our videos had like 36,000 views on it or something. Like, okay, maybe there's something to this. Maybe we need to get back to this, and maybe we can make this happen. And maybe if we just stop being scared all the time and embraced failure as part of learning and part of improving, then we can make this happen. And so I think we've put up, I don't know, like 30 videos this year. A lot of shorts, just to get into the practice of editing and the habit of logging in every day and doing something with it every day, even if it's ugly, even if it's not perfect, because that's how you get better. And so we're slowly building that. And then we decided, well, what are we going to do the rest of the year? Because neither of us want to do Halloween all year, because we love Halloween and we don't want to stop loving it. And I feel like trying to force it year round is not what we're interested in. And so we had started this channel like 5 years ago too, and I think we randomly just threw a couple of videos on it, not knowing exactly what it was going to be. And then we're like, well, with that name, we could easily just start documenting our journey into being better. Because I see a lot of videos about personal development online, but it's not the nitty-gritty day-to-day stuff. It's the, young millennials in their pristine white apartments and wearing their Lululemon or whatever the hell they're wearing, with their little glass bottle with the glass straw, drinking their morning green juice and getting out their laptop and everything being perfect. And we never get to see the ugly faily parts. They don't talk about their ugly faily parts, except for maybe once in a while when they're like, oh, I climbed the mountain and yes, it was messy. And that's all you hear. And when you're struggling in the day-to-day and wanting to quit and feeling like a failure and just crying into your pillow, and your husband is standing there not understanding in the slightest, I figured, well, we both figured, like, let's just show it in the day-to-day, because if nobody watches them, we can go back and watch it and we can see our progress, because it is tough to see it all once you've gotten through it, and you forget easily. So here we are documenting it in our completely unprofessional, unpolished manner, with our one-take videos that may or may not have just a smidgen of editing, and hoping that we see a difference by the end of it, hoping that this 90 days does make a difference. Because when you try to make a change at the new year, you make it like 2 weeks. Like, the expectation is so high and the perfectionism is so high. So we just wanted to show up at a time that it was a little less expected, and not everybody was trying to do it, so not everybody was talking about it, and not everybody else was giving you permission to give up on it, because that's usually what happens when you fail. People say, oh, it's okay to give up on it, it's okay to not reach, instead of saying, okay, you failed, and you can start again tomorrow, you can start again right now. There's nothing stopping you except yourself and your preconceived notions. And that is the thing that I hate to say. Like, you choose to give up. And I think we don't choose it. I think it's our preconceived notions. It is our subconscious. It is our expectations of ourselves, and it's not us. Does that make sense? Because nobody chooses to be where they are. We want to be better, but there's a lot of hurdles, and I think we could overcome so many of those hurdles by just accepting the failure and getting up. And it reminds me of a movie from when I was a kid. My parents watched a lot of black and white movies when we were little, so we watched a lot of PBS and a lot of black and white movies when we were little. And I think it was an old Fred Astaire movie. I think it was Swing Time. And anyway, he sees Ginger Rogers and he thinks she's really pretty and he wants to get to know her, and so he takes her dancing class and he pretends like he doesn't know how to dance and he keeps fumbling around and falling, and they sing this song about pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again. And I hear that all the time when I screw up now, which I think is a good thing. So I'm getting there. Unfortunately, I also hear that meme video that I don't want to go to work today. I don't want to do the work today. I hear that one every single morning. So I need to try to implant some more helpful video for myself in the morning, because literally I will wake up and for the first half hour of my day I will literally hear that cave lady talking about how she doesn't want to do the things today. So maybe I'll put my focus on that. But I am also thankful that I get to hear that Fred Astaire song about starting over. So show up, do it ugly, screw it up, fail a bunch, start over. You'll get there. And hopefully somebody sees this and it's helpful, and when they're done ugly crying in their pillow, they'll get up and keep on trucking. So day 6 done. It was more successful than not successful, so let's get rocking on day 7.